Hey guys, how are you? Yes, we are back in a manner of speaking. It has been a long, long time, many, many months, but we are back here at One Guy, One Beer, and we are very excited, and we hope you are too. Um, yeah, it's been a long time. Um, Lots happened. My daughter is now, 9 months old, so that's going as well as it can possibly go. We're very happy. She's very healthy and quite spirited, and we are getting ready to move here in the next month or two. Going back to Rockford, Illinois from Galesburg, going back home to some family, which we're very excited about. And yeah, lots been going on, and I don't know, just felt like it was time to reboot the show here. It's something that I really enjoyed doing. We did a good number of episodes before the extended hiatus. And yeah, it was fun for me. I think it's valuable to be able to express or verbalize an experience. I think there's a skill in that to be able to, whether it's food, cocktails, wine, spirits, beer, whatever the case, to be able to express to someone what you're tasting, what it reminds you of, how it's impacting you, um, and what the overall experience is. I think there's value in that. So it's fun for me. Hopefully, it's fun for you, um, and away we go. So hopefully these come out once or twice a week from here on in. Fingers crossed. I think I said that last time, and it's been like 9 months, but I digress. So, in thinking about how to relaunch the show, I wanted to do a beer that was local to me. For those who don't know, I live in Galesburg, Illinois, which is sort of west central Illinois. Fairly small town, but a fairly active homebrewing scene. There's a local homebrew club here that, like I said, is very active, a healthy amount of members. And one of the members is a friend of mine named Sam Fisk. Very accomplished homebrewer, has a lot of experience, many, many years in homebrewing, but he also is a professional brewer. He brews for a brew pub in Keokuk, Iowa called V's, as in the letter V. V's Brew Pub and Restaurant. He's been doing that for a number of months now. And he's doing very well down there, and I've had a number of his home brews before, but I haven't had the chance to get down there to see what he's doing, on the bigger, brew pub system. That is, until today. Yesterday, he dropped off this beer for me to taste, and I wanted to, relaunch the show with it, do it with you guys. You can't get more local than this. And this is his dry hopped Helles. Helles is a German pale lager. It's one of my favorite styles of beer. So it's a very it originates in the southern part of Germany, in the Bavarian region, specifically Munich. In fact, the style is Munich Helles. And like I said, it's a light colored beer. It can be a lighter bodied beer. It doesn't have to be, but it can be. And in fact, in German, Helles means light. It's a very malt-forward beer. It can have some sweetness to it. It should end somewhat dry, as most German lagers do, but it can have some sweetness. It's a great summer beer. It's easy drinking. It's lower alcohol. It's a beer that's meant to be, sort of consumed, in mass. It's not a sipping beer. A Helles is a gulping beer, essentially. It's supposed to be very refreshing, very thirst-quenching. And like I said, it's one of my favorite styles when done well. Sam's version here, this version, he dry hopped with Equinox hops, which I thought was very interesting. You don't really see a lot of dry hopping necessarily in German-style beers, and you don't see a lot of dry hopping with Equinox hops, which, to my knowledge, I don't have a ton of experience with Equinox hops, so I'm excited to try it. Equinox, it's a mix of sort of a tropical hop, so you might get some papaya, maybe a little bit of mango, some of those tropical notes. But then you also can get sort of lemony, limey, slightly zesty character from Equinox. So, I don't know, it seems like an interesting pairing. Helles-style lager with Equinox hops. You don't see it every day, so I said, yeah. He asked me if I want to try it, and I said, yes, please. So I'm excited, and also just because Sam, thank you for this beer, by the way. But Sam's, like I said, a really, really great brewer, and I'm excited to see what he can do with it. So, on that note, let us dive in. Wow, Sam, you are like Hercules. There it goes. Okay. Either you're Hercules or I'm Pippi Longstocking. Well, that doesn't make sense because she could lift a horse over her head, right? Okay, so you're Hercules and I'm some weak man. So just wanted to smell the... Oh, it smells nice. All right, so let's give her a pour here. It's hard to pour for me out of... Okay. Nice little tasting portion there. So, Helles, not usually super carbonated of a beer, so that seems about right. Also, I mean, you know, I don't want to go down a rabbit hole here, but I'm not a huge fan of growlers or howlers or whatever they are. I'm not sure they're the best way to transport beer, but, you know, hey, you do what you got to do, right? So, taking a look at the beer here, as to be expected, yeah, golden, slightly pale golden, not a ton of head, like I said, that's about to style for a Helles. There should be a little more head on there. Let me see if I can get a little bit more head on that. Again, that could just be a feature. He did drop this off yesterday, so the lack of head could just be... there's some there. Could just be a factor of it being in a howler, and the fact that, you know, I didn't drink it right away. It's sat overnight in the fridge. What are you going to do? Okay, so, like I said, yeah, sort of pale golden. God, I can smell it from here. It smells great. Pretty good clarity. Helles, you know, as all German lagers, they should be fairly clear. Shouldn't be too much haze or anything like that. Yeah, but a very appealing looking beer too. The head that is there is sort of a nice, bright white. Yeah, looks great. When you swirl it, there's some carbonation that comes back. So again, it could just be the packaging format. But yeah, let's see what she smells like. Okay, so right off the top, those Equinox hops, and it's dry hopped, right? So when a beer is dry hopped, that's essentially, you know, hops are added in 3 stages in brewing. That's very traditional brewing. Dry hopping is sort of a 4th stage of hopping. So you got your first hop addition is for bittering. Your second hop addition is for flavor, and your third hop addition is for aromatics, right? So when you dry hop, essentially you're hopping the beer. Well, you can do a number of different ways, but usually when it's in the fermenter is when the dry hopping would occur. If I'm correct, I believe I am. So because you're hopping so late in the brewing process, the aromatics are just going to be so in your face, so present. And this thing smells, like I said, it smells just like, yeah, mango. Oh, there you go. Occupational hazard. But mango, papaya, guava, and there's a little bit of like stankiness to those fruit qualities too. And that sounds bad, but I mean it in a good way. Like these fruits are they're so ripe and so juicy, they're almost starting to turn, like they're going past their prime a bit. That's kind of what this smells like. Man, the hops are so aggressive. Usually, for me, one of the things I like about a Munich Helles is because it's such a malt-driven beer, you get, and it's not an aggressively aroma-hopped beer, you get notes of like fresh baked white bread, right? Not like Wonder Bread, but going to a bakery and getting like a fresh white country loaf. That's kind of the notes that I get from a Munich Helles from the malt. And that's not to downgrade this beer. I'm just not getting that. All I'm getting are those Equinox hops. But yeah, again, like a little bit of lemon and lime. I mean, this sounds bad, but it's not. It smells like a really refreshing, like lemon lime soda. And I mean that, like, again, in the best possible way. Man, I'm just shocked by how much those hops are coming through. I mean, if you had told me this is like an American pale just by the nose, I wouldn't doubt you at all. This just smells like a very aggressively aroma hopped American pale ale, for what it's worth. fairly light-bodied. On the palate, I get that breadiness that I want out of a Munich Helles. It tastes like a really well-made, freshly baked loaf of white bread. Maybe a little bit of a French bread thing, but for me, it's more white bread. Um, those hops hit you about mid-palate, at least for me, and they leave this wonderful, zesty, lemon, limey, refreshing quality to it. Very little bitterness, just enough to keep the sweetness in balance, because there is some sweetness here from that malt. Really lovely mouthfeel. Soft, kind of delicate. Wow. I'm a little blown away, quite frankly, by how just the stark difference between the aroma and the flavor, and how it tastes. The aroma to me was all tropical hops. Like I said, it smelled like, and this is very in vogue now, but it smelled like a very aggressively hopped American Pale. And then in the flavor, you get that nice sort of light-bodied, maybe getting close to medium-bodied, bready, malty Munich Helles note. And there maybe is a little bit more bitterness now that I'm talking. It's starting to grow, but it's not unpleasant. It's not out of balance. It's not unwanted. It makes you want to go back for a second sip. So in that way, it's a super refreshing, super quaffable beer. Man, that's really interesting. I'm just letting it sit for a second. I'm thinking. I know, it looks like I'm doing nothing. That's how I look when I'm thinking. It's easy to confuse the two. I'm just blown away, too, by sometimes when you have these super aromatic, juicy hops, it can leave sort of an unwanted, like sort of, not grainy, but like grating quality in the back of the throat. Like sometimes I get that with like Citra hops, or, I'm trying to think of the really juicy hop. Why something? Sometimes Mosaic, too. It sort of like stings a little bit, the back of the throat. This doesn't have that. So you get all those aromatics, all those juicy hop notes, but then it ends with this sort of crisp, clean, lemon lime zesty thing. Wow. As I sit with it, I don't know if I would, again, I'm not sure if you gave this to me blind, if I would say this is a Helles. I would say it's a just fairly, maybe a really nice American Pale with a good malt backbone. But what do I know? I'm not the brewer. I'm just the guy talking camera about this beer. Regardless of whether it's a Munich Helles dry hop with Equinox or whatever you want to call it, it's a delicious beer. This is a perfect summer beer. Yeah, because of that sort of citrusy lemon limey thing, I want fish tacos with this. Fish tacos, really good tortillas. Yeah, I could eat fish tacos with maybe sort of a nice like cabbagey slaw. Would pair beautifully with this. That would just be stellar. Wow. Well, anyway, I could go on, but I won't. So that was the dry hopped Helles with Equinox hops from my friend Sam Fisk. Again, Sam, thank you so much. You can get this beer on draft at V's Brewpub in Keokuk, Iowa. So if you're in the area, you're passing through, even if you're like an hour's drive, go check it out. It is worth it. If this is just indicative of what he has on right now. Would I get it again? Yes, I would. Luckily, I have a local connection. What would I give it? The 100-point scale. I'll go 89, Virgin 90, 89 plus 90. So you're talking A minus territory. I mean, it's to me the textbook definition of a summer crusher. I don't know what the ABV on it is. Gun to the head, I'd say 5.5, maybe 6, maybe. I doubt it. Probably closer to 5.5. But it is a summer back porch pounder that has a lot of complexity, a lot of nuance, and that marries two things in a really cool way. So the tropical hops and classic Munich Helles, maltiness, mouthfeel maltiness character, etc. So, yeah, awesome. Thank you guys so much for checking us out. Spread the word, spread the love. We will have more reviews coming soon, I promise. And until next time, guys, if you can, go get this beer, and I'm going to keep drinking. Cheers.